group of 7 people from 4 different churches in Jena traveled to Lugoj, Romania, Jena's partner city. We drove the roughly 750 miles in a day and a half. Along the way, we already saw many items of interest, but it was the large fields of sunflowers that particularly impressed me. In Lugoj, there were a number of surprises waiting for us. The first pleasant surprise was that the Baptist church provided housing for our entire group. The heat wasn't necessarily a surprise, but it did have quite an impact on our time there. It was up to 50 degrees Celsius, or 120 Fahrenheit, in the sun. On the first evening, we had a dinner with the pastors and priests of the different churches in Lugoj. On this evening, we were able to give them presents that we had brought with us. The next surprise for me was the food. Each of us was given a full plate of cold cuts and cheese. The surprise was, that was only the appetizer. On Saturday morning, Tuchak, the pastor of the Baptist church in Lugoj, took me to see the school his church operates. The school is the former Jewish school, which had not been operated for several decades. The Baptist church purchased the building and expanded it, and now there are over 300 students in the 1st through 4th grades. The students are at school from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and also take an afternoon nap in the school. The rooms in the school have names instead of numbers. On the ground floor, they are names from the Old Testament, and on the second floor, they are names from the New Testament. Even the bathrooms have names. On the ground floor, they are Ahab and Jezebel. On the first floor, they are Ananias and Sapphira. One particularly important event of the weekend was the celebratory worship service at the Romanian Orthodox Church on Saturday. The style of worship was something I was not familiar with, but it was very interesting to observe. Unfortunately, I couldn't understand what was being said since it was all in Romanian. At the end of the service was a procession around the church, and as a last point, bread was passed out. There were meal packages for people in need, and just a bite of bread for anyone else. That evening was the opening of the festival. It began with a devotional service in the church and continued with a street dance involving people from different cities and countries dressed in traditional attire. We then drove to a nearby village where a similar fest was taking place. Here's a short clip to give you an idea of the atmosphere. Shortly before midnight, there was a fireworks show in the middle of town. Sunday morning, there was very different music, but for me, it was even more enjoyable. Most of our group went to 2 different services on Sunday morning, but I was with Pastor Tuchak at the Baptist church. It is a church with about 1,100 members and 12 satellite sites in surrounding villages. On this particular Sunday, there were only about 600 people in worship, since it was during their summer slump, but I was assured that there were more people in their Sunday evening service, because more people who don't belong to the church go to that service. I spoke to the church shortly with Pastor Tuchak translating for me, but he asked me to come prepared to preach a sermon the next time I come. Sunday evening, we attended an organ concert at the local synagogue. The synagogue is an impressive structure, but it is difficult for the Jewish community to maintain since they are a small group in Lugoj. Later that evening, we were able to visit the youth center of the Romanian Orthodox Church, where they tried to help young people who were in danger of dropping out of school. Monday was our departure day, but we had a busy schedule right up to time to leave. The bishop of the Greek Catholic Church received us for a meeting. After that, we went to see their social outreach. Here, 3 nuns work with people who are poor and live in an isolated area on the edge of Lugoj. After lunch, it was time to leave. We made numerous new friends and had countless impressions from our time in Lugoj. During the return trip, we also were able to see and learn quite a bit. But here you have a small impression of my trip to our partner city. I'm glad that I was able to go along and to get to know so many people, and I'm looking forward to the next opportunity.